Hello and welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we're talking about one of my most anticipated games of the year.
Is it really?
Potentially. Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
We've already given it a golden duck.
That's true.
Unabashedly. I am not entirely convinced, but it is very much in the running for my favorite game from your studio yet.
Oh, wow.
Behind potentially Moonrakers with all the expansions.
Not Mythic Mischief.
That people should be receiving by the time that they're
I thought they would have already had it.
back in this. So I mean, it's on the way. Like, shipping's a whole thing, but you guys deliver before launching. So
yeah, I mean,
hats off to IV Studios. I'm here with Austin Harris from IV Studios.
Harris. Oh, the running joke at this point.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm Austin Harrison. But if you watch all of Jesse's content, you'll know why.
Every single bit.
Why I've been introduced as Harris for every video since.
And now that he's used his time to talk about the end of his name as opposed to the company he runs, today we're going to be talking about the difference between the retail and the deluxe version. So, Mr. Harris, exactly what does your company IV Studios do? And by the way, yes, we love you guys. We work with you guys. You contract us for certain things. This is not a sponsored video, but you are literally visiting me.
I'm here.
So hello.
Yeah, this is our first live comparison of the two versions of the game.
Cool.
And there's a couple of things on here that are add-ons. They're not in the deluxe or in the retail version, specifically this game mat that's right here. But I did want to talk about the difference in the deluxe and retail because there's a big price point difference on the page.
So, and this is one of the new things that you all are doing with this campaign specifically, is you've designed it to not only be your insane deluxeified, high-quality production that is on Kickstarter. It's the stuff that you all have delivered with Veiled Fate, with Moonrakers, with Mythic Mischief, but also you've aimed at making sure you can get a box, and literally a box. There's a little bit of a difference here.
Just a little bit.
A box into retail marketplaces. One, because you find that this game should be a game, and can certainly be a game that is going to be competitive in the retail scene.
Yeah.
Two, because you wanted to provide the audience with still high-quality components that didn't compromise gameplay, but some of the enhancements like magnets and stuff like that aren't necessary to have a functional game, you wanted to provide a little bit more of an affordable option for people.
Yeah.
And then three, because from a business perspective, having a retail line of the product afterwards still gives people the exclusive, crazy, deluxeified Kickstarters that they love, but also allows you all to continue making productions and growing the user base or the player base of your title.
So this game from the beginning, we looked at the components we wanted to have, and it was just like, oh, this is going to be, it's going to be expensive because it involves magnets and really cool trays, and we thought this might be the time to really diverge into two different products, a retail product and a deluxe product. And we're still really proud of the retail product.
Absolutely.
But it's all cardboard.
The first gameplay we put out was on the retail product.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I actually have the prototype version of the deluxe.
Prototype being the key word there.
Of the deluxeified copy here. And I'm very excited about that, but I'm going to be honest, if you never showed me that, and I didn't know what I was missing, this is really solid. It's well produced, good quality. It's good quality punchboard. It's beautiful artwork. It has, you still like little textured overlays and everything like that. Like the touch of IV Studios is still there.
It's the Dr. Pibb versus the Dr. Pepper argument.
Yeah.
If you only had water and then you had Dr. Pibb, you'd be like, this is pretty good. But then you have Dr. Pepper and you're like, oh.
It's a little bit better. Hey, Dr. Pibb haters out there, or lovers, don't leave a comment down below. Get out of here. Literally unsubscribe. We don't need you. For the record, I lost 3 subscribers. Thanks.
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
Okay, I grew up on all of those.
The Pibb or the Pepper?
No, I grew up on all of the dollar store sodas.
Yeah. Dr. Cola. That was a good one.
Yeah, every bit.
All right. Can we talk about magnets?
Let's talk about this. I'm assuming the people that are watching this, and we'll try to do it a little bit quicker for you, are coming from the Kickstarter page. They're interested in this, and they're trying to make a decision between the pledge levels. Yeah. So let's talk about what's happening here when it comes to the nuanced stuff, some of the core stuff.
Yeah, the main gameplay.
Should I continue interrupting you, or
no?
You actually
I mean, I can just sit here. No, the main core gameplay. You're placing three of these tokens out every round. And this is the retail copy, and you are going to, at the end of the round, flip and reveal how many troop power you put out there. Well, if you put out 2 zeros, then you'd probably have your 10, because that's the max you can put out every round. Now, that's what it would look like if you were playing the retail version. They'd be flipped over. Those are your airships. The 10 and the 1 have a white mark on the outline, and the other ones don't. That's retail. if we were playing Deluxe, you would take a token that has that same number on it, and then you would
Comparable
have...
to...
yeah, I can put it.
I got one here. Comparable to something like this.
Yep. And I do want to point out, this is prototype. This red should match that red. It doesn't, just because of the prototype copy. But you would be using a magnetized ship to pick up that token, and it's hidden because the number is under the ship.
And not just a magnetized ship, but if you bring your player board over here, it's a magnetized ship with an area here that has all of your tokens visible only to you. And you do a lovely thing, and I can't even see here, I'm just going to reach in. You do a lovely thing where you reach in and you grab a piece, and then it's lofted and you can place it on down. If I didn't hit plastic 7 times. Now, I do have to let the audience know something that I did that's amazing.
It was amazing. Thank you for doing it.
So you see that little tiny magnet nubbin in the bottom of this? That's not standard. That's not what you'll get. In fact, this magnet's way stronger than any magnet you're going to get your hands on.
It's much smaller. I'm
joking.
It's stronger for the size. That is the tiniest magnet I've
The
ever
prototype copy of this had, so due to maybe a timing error on the production side of stuff.
Factory error.
Definitely not approved. Had just put very ugly fridge magnets on the bottom.
Yeah.
Not, they work. I guess, but not what we were going for. So we hand drilled out inlaid a tiny magnet that I have for my Kingdom Death models. For the sake of having something that works and is functional. Your magnets are actually stronger. Like the final production from magnets. Here, you can jump them up together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
but thank you for doing that. A lot of the prototypes that you see on other channels and other previews will have these fridge magnets. That is not their fault. I didn't even tell them that they could drill a hole in it and put a King of Death monster magnet.
You didn't even know that fridge magnets were arriving.
I didn't. Not until they were already at our warehouse. So it's a little bit of a disappointment for just the promotional copies. Yeah. The final copies would have been better than this. But so you'll have 3 of those airships out on the board, and then at the end of the round, you just reveal them. And I love that.
Because and every single unit has their own unique airships as well, so it's customized.
There's 5 different sculpts for each, So
now, on top of that, you also have some of the other models that you have. Like we have our fortresses, we have our markets, and we have our other little +1 airships. They give you a little bit more area control. These are going to be corresponding to other little miniatures that have little hex grids. They go down in specific locations on the table. And they're supplementing from, the tiny little clips that we have here. They are not necessary for gameplay. They do provide a very nice visual aesthetic and make it a little bit easier to read.
The glance value is higher, just because there's the 3D element to it.
And the colors are a little bit more, like I can see this big swath of red as opposed to like this has a smaller footprint overall.
Definitely does. Yep.
So, other things that are going to be different between what we have here.
Yeah, so the next thing I want to talk about is just the player tray. So we'll bring this back over. These are the 2 differences between what's going to be hiding your numbers. And so this is functional, and on the back it has the cost of everything, which is nice.
Most games that have any type of hidden mechanic have some type of comparable.
Yeah, it's not unique.
I build my screen, it works perfectly fine.
And this tray, instead of having to take little resource tokens, so these tokens are in the retail game where you have to reach across the table and grab them and, grab one individual and then spend them. You're just tracking all of that literally on this counter system here, which I really like. I found it easy. You can also glance really quickly and I can see, oh no, Jesse's put out 4 fortresses. I know one of those objectives is have the most fortresses out, I'm in trouble. Whereas otherwise I'd be counting your tokens. It's just a lot easier to kind of see what's happening. Sure. But my favorite part of it is, of course, how you can see your numbers displayed. It helps you kind of just see what you've played and what you haven't played versus flipping over all your individual tokens behind your screen and being like, okay, what number do I need to put out?
The player dashboard is very nice. You also have your victory points across the front here, so you have a very clean read on who is actually in the lead, how many points are spread out. I think they look very nice. That being said, again, if you never showed me this,
that would have been fine.
This works great. It's simple, it's accessible, it functions.
All right.
We have the 2 different boards here. We have the neoprene, which does not, in its own, come with the Deluxe Edition.
It's not a Deluxe,
However, anyone like me that is buying the Deluxe Edition on Kickstarter will likely be ordering this.
Yeah, and it's nice. We had to do 2 sides of this board. Both boards are double-sided because of, at 3 players, you play with less islands. And so it's a nice double-sided mat, which I really like. We honestly should have done that on Moonrakers. It would have been fun.
Yeah. And then both copies will have a high quality
this actually
cardboard base.
This is the same board for retail and deluxe. There's just some components that it's cheaper to make them all the same versus having 2 different production lines, and the board happened to be one of them because the only difference is the spot UV. We weren't going to do spot UV on the retail.
Yeah, but the spot UV looks great.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And so it's that extra little like deluxeification that is nice to have in a retail game as it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Next is the peak tray. You grab that one.
Sure.
So this is a component that I'm really happy with because picking up cards is something I'm bad at. Like just sitting on a table. I use the fingernail method. These are actually they're not that hard to pick up, but I am always that person that's just doing that scraggly thing, and that gives me pain when other people are doing that to my games. I know it's giving other people pain. So we made this tray that literally hangs off so you can just reach in and
these
grab.
are all secret objective cards, areas that victory points are going to be showing up. So you're actually going to be taking the cubes, marking what you've looked at so people have a very clear way to see what you've actually received, and taking a look at specific cards to see what objectives might be coming out into the game. So that's simple, that's approachable. This does the same thing, though.
It does, and I even hang my cards off the board so that I can easily reach my finger under and grab them. So it does the same thing effectively.
You have locations for your cubes, the same slots, the top and bottom here.
So you would use these little tokens to mark what you've peeked, and then,
and then you have cards across the top, cards across the bottom. Might not be organized quite as well, but...
it's superfluous, but it's fun. Yeah. And that's what a deluxe copy is. Superfluous and fun.
Absolutely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the next big thing we need to move to is a conversation around the size of the box. And this might be, I'm going to be honest, this might be something that I could see people making a decision on in and of itself. Not only the price, but also
size of the box,
the footprint. So this looks very similar to, for instance, like a smaller footprint than you usually do, kind of closer to some of the Mythic Mischief stuff that you've done.
This is. I wish I don't have a small Mythic Mischief, but it's close.
Whereas this is your standard. This is like
almost.
the
This is like Veiled Fate
size, right?
This is pretty close to Veiled Fate.
Moonrakers. You know, they have that same shape to them.
The storage in this, though, I'm really excited about. This is Black Magic tray design, and they are really, really doing good. And so the tray will pull out, and then the player trays nest in here all together. Cool. And then all your Starfall pieces will go in there, your cards go in there, and then this just goes back in top. People are going to ask, well, don't the pieces store in the tray? The box would have been as big as Foundations of Rome box if we did that, and it's really not that hard to just throw the pieces on there. So we stored them really nice in this tray.
It takes seconds.
Yeah. So that is that.
Okay, so slides.
Yep, and then this, which when it doesn't have cards on it, so I'll take those off. This will nest nicely up into here.
Okay, so that kind of lives there and hugs everything down a little bit.
Yep.
Cool, and then I'm sure rulebook and stuff on top of all that.
Rulebook and stuff on top of that.
Now, when it comes to the retail edition, what's the box going to be like there?
So, no physical plastic tray. It has a cardboard well where you have baggies.
Does this copy have that?
Yeah, you can open it. So, this will have the other screens in it. And you can see that the board will nest on top of that and kind of lock all the different baggies with just the different colored components in there.
Yep.
And then these would go on top.
Boards go on top, player board goes on top, rulebook goes on top. You decided to make this very compact. Like when this is full, this is full.
We could have cheated it and made it bigger.
Yeah.
And made it look full.
What was your thought around that?
So, in a lot of ways, I think that we're just moving that way as an industry where everyone doesn't have enough room on their Kallax shelves. And just the whole make the box bigger than it needs to be so it takes up more space is just kind of an annoying trend.
Sure.
And it's something we've been accused of in the past, even though Moonraker's, the base game box, was accused of that. And I was like, but the cards are just so beautifully laid out in there. And if we were to make it smaller, they would have just been flat on top of each other, not organized.
You wouldn't have had space.
And so in this case, they're cardboard tokens in a bag. There's not a way to beautifully organize that. And so why not make it as compact as we can? So
as a publisher,
hit me.
What do you honestly recommend between the two?
Oh, I mean, the Deluxe, without a doubt. The magnets are incredible.
The magnets are
if you don't like magnets, then you should definitely not buy the Deluxe version. If you really want a small box, retail version's great. If you don't care about the, flying the airship around before you put it on the board, then just throw a token out there.
So, because this has these hidden tokens and the magnetization specifically works, and you're spending so long of the game doing that very satisfying click and then placing.
Yeah.
All of that creates a very, very good, not only physicality to the play experience, but also it enhances the actual gameplay experience itself. The readability, the legibility of the game table, all of that's enhanced. However, I do have to say, this game is good enough that if people are making a decision between not backing and, not backing because they want the deluxe versus getting the retail, I have no problem telling people that the retail is going to give you the same satisfaction, the same equivalent gameplay mechanics experience. Mm-hmm. There is just some quality of life things and some stuff that is fun to interact with in the deluxified version of this.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
If everyone gets on and backs retail, we will be sad that deluxe doesn't get sold. But at the same time, we care more about people playing the game, and that's why we're offering the lower price point, and that because we think this game is something that we just want as many people to experience it as possible. So, the people that want our deluxe games and have backed us in the past will be very happy, and the people that haven't backed our deluxe games because they didn't want to pay for it will be happy too.
We'll have an option. We'll have an option for something else.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Let us know if you have any questions down below. I'm sure you guys will be in the comments, keeping an eye out to answer anything. Avoiding some of your comments, those of you who like Dr. Pibb, but everyone else will respond to you. Probably. Sometime. I'm thinking about doing a video where our entire team gets together, we vlog one full day, responding to every comment that has ever happened on the Quackalope platform.
That sounds terrible.
4 of us. Just responding.
Can I not be invited to that?
I think it would be really fun.
I don't want to watch that.
I think it'd be really fun.
I have to live comments.
It'd be a vlog.
But I have to live Kickstarter comments. I have to live.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I have a lot that I haven't responded to.
Yeah, I respond to all of them.
I try. And then I became successful. No, actually, what happened is I started doing things like quack attacking people.
Oh, yeah.
And that pushed back at 500 times on my own platform. Mm-hmm. And so I now, most of the comments we have to respond to are just a slew of quacks.
I really think that most of the comments on this are going to be about Dr. Pepper.
I would.
Do you like Dr. Pepper?
I do.
I married a Texan.
I do. I like Dr. Pepper enough.
They have Dr. Pepper in their veins.
I like Dr. Pepper enough that I am anti Dr. Pibb.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's just a ripoff.
I have a Dr. Pepper shake at Whataburger once. That was really good. It's really good.
Sounds good. But I'm a root beer fan above it all. We'll see you next time.